What made you guys think to come up with this car? What's the backstory?
Well, the backstory of the Concept One basically is it comes from Mate, of course. So Mate Rimac is a huge car guy and a huge, basically a driver. He started off with drifting, and he was doing innovation stuff in his early days in his high school and stuff. And he always had this idea, different to everybody else's. So he bought, he did some innovations that he basically sold patents for. For that money, he bought an old BMW E30 that he started to do drifts with and track days. And on one of the track days, the engine blew up on that car. So instead of just doing a swap like everybody else, he decided to do to put in an electric motor with batteries, because he believes that the electric motor is superior to a petrol engine car or a combustion engine. And basically it got to the point where he started to develop that car, the E30 BMW, and he started winning races and drag races, and he put in several Guinness and world records for fastest accelerating electric car. And he realized that at one point majority of the car was his built, and that it was basically time to do a car of his own that he wanted to do from when he was a little kid. At that time, he also met Adriano Mudri, who was still in faculty, a designer, and the two of them just started to do a project making a hypercar, basically. And in 2009, I believe, they employed first people in the company, and just started to develop the car. 2011, they premiered it in Frankfurt Motor Show, so the Concept One. And they got approached by investors to basically develop and sell that car. There was like a fast forward to today. Basically, this car was made first of all as a prototype car and a small series car. It was never intended to be a big series production car, so it was only made in 8 units, and we produced and sold 8 units, and one of those cars ended in a huge story with the Grand Tour, as you know.
Sure.
And that was a huge accident, but basically that was also one of the things that got Rimac so popular. Before that, people don't really know the story, but before that we did quite a lot of races with other supercars and with other hypercars. We won a lot of races, a lot of drag races, and we did quite a lot of shows with that car. And in parallel with the Concept One, the company was developing the technology, basically. So all the technology in the car, everything about the car is done in-house in Croatia. So from ground up, like there was no carryover parts. We did the chassis development, the body, even the glass, everything is done in Croatia by our people. The Concept One was done with a small group of people. Basically, it was maybe 20 people at the very beginning, and it was a project that started the whole thing, and we are quite proud of that car. But nowadays the C2, the car that we are developing at the moment, is on a completely another level, because the company just skyrocketed from basically 2016 when we premiered the Concept One production car till today.
So what's the next? The next one is the Concept 2, and when does that come out?
Yeah, the C2 was about to be shown in Geneva, but due to COVID and all the other things, it was basically postponed. We are working really fast on development of that car. So we are working on a car that's going to have 1,900 horsepower, basically almost 2,000 horsepower. Yeah. And it's going to be the world's fastest all-electric hypercar again. So the first all-electric hypercar is the Concept 1, and the C2 is going to be basically double the power. So.
And what's the production on these? So Concept 1, how many were approximately made, and what do you think Concept 2 as your production grown?
Yes, so the C1 was done in 8 units. Only 8 cars were done.
Right.
And the C2 is going to be done in 150.
Oh, okay. So you guys have really ramped up production. So that's interesting. Yeah. Awesome. And then as soon as COVID sort of ends, or does it really matter at this point? Can you buy a Concept 2 right now, regardless of COVID or not, and have it delivered? Sure. You can receive one?
You can pre-order the car, and we have also contact with of course guys in Manhattan Motor Cars that I know you've been working with. Sure. So yeah, they can be pre-ordered, but yeah, it's gonna be quite big.
And when do you think the first shipment can come? Like if somebody ordered today, when do you think they could get them?
To be quite honest, I'm not sure about the dates. I think that this we will need to ask the sales guys. So
okay.
And currently, to be quite honest, I'm at Nardo, so I'm working on the development of the car. I'm here for the last month, and last year I was here also for 3 months. So we are, up to elbows in the whole development process and everything.
And what is your specific role? You're the driver, you're the test driver of the vehicles?
Yes. So my specific role is I'm the product specification specialist, let's say. So I'm like the customer, like the first customer for the car. So I do the specification for the vehicle with the team, of course, and we define first the high level requirements with Mate. So all the details from the car. So from the specifications for the numbers, so from the specs of the car, and to the little details like how the doors will be opening, what will be the sequence of the buttons, and all these things. So I'm basically a consultant for them, and also I'm developing the driving dynamics or the characterization of the vehicle. So the setting up of the suspension and all the modes and the car. So mapping the throttle maps, sorry, the accelerator maps, torque vectoring, and all these things.
Can you speak any about the specifics of how the battery or the electric motor works, so to speak? So from like a layman perspective, when we put it on the show, can you explain like, okay, the battery works like this, like a normal car, you have a petrol engine that goes up and down, shoots. Can you explain a little bit of that, the difference between the two of them?
Yeah, so there is, from a high level perspective, let's say there is little differences, but on the other hand, there are huge differences between the two cars. So between C1 and C2. First of all, the C1 has a space frame chassis. C2 has a monocoque, carbon fiber monocoque. Okay. And C1 is a much smaller vehicle, much smaller car, and it has a carbon fiber body. And both cars use basically the battery, high voltage battery that is in the backbone of the car, and it's relatively similar laid out. Only in the C2 is a little bit bigger, so it's also in some parts of the front and in the floor of the driver, co-driver. So in the C1, it's in the backbone of the car and behind the seats. The high voltage battery basically is giving power to the inverters, which are basically taking the DC current and making it an AC current and giving the power to the motors. So we have permanent magnet motors, and we have one for each wheel. Each motor has its proprietary gearbox. So each motor can be controlled by the quite complex system, and we with torque vectoring can control each motor hundreds times a second, and we can control it in a way that we can control the torque on the motor. So we do the traction control, we do the torque vectoring, and all these kinds of stuff with a quite complex algorithm. So what the car can basically do is it has totally independent wheels. So what you can do is, whilst entering the corner, you can control the torque on each motor separately and basically turn the car like no conventional car can do. So on a normal conventional car, for example, you have differentials. So you have 3 differentials if you have 4-wheel drive, let's say. We don't have differentials, so we can brake with one motor, accelerate with another motor, do the same on the front. So we can change all these things and make really advanced vehicle dynamics. That is the biggest advantage basically of this powertrain.
That's incredible. So essentially the C2 is going to have close to 2,000 horsepower. What's the weight of it?
It's going to be around 2,000 kilos.
2,000 kilos. Everyone's going to ask, what's the sort of the top speed that you can get without sort of disintegrating at this point, I'm guessing, because it's going to be incredible speed.
It's going to be limited to 420 kilometers an hour. I don't know what's that in miles. Sorry.
No,
I would have to calculate. So yeah, yeah. The point is that it's going to have really high acceleration numbers. So it's going to be around 1.95 till 100 kilometers an hour, or 62 miles an hour.
That's
yeah, and it's going to the difference basically it's. So to cut it down to this, so if you have a normal conventional petrol-powered car, petrol-powered hypercar, it accelerates to a certain point where all the cars just lose torque, and because of the gearbox and because of the nature of the motor. Whilst in our case, the car just keeps on accelerating because we don't have gears. We do have gearboxes, but we don't have gears. We only have single gear. The car just keeps on accelerating from 0 until 420 kilometers an hour, and you're basically controlling the motors, and you're controlling the slip of the tire till really high tire speed or the wheel speed. So it's if you compare it to a normal car, it's like being pulled by a bungee rope, but it never ends. It just, it just keeps on accelerating.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right, well, listen, I appreciate you giving us a bit of a heads up of what's going on with these cars, and we're super excited, and I hope as soon as COVID comes and is over in the world here, we could get another view of the C2 here in the United States. Do you think there's going to be one shipped over to Manhattan Motor Cars anytime soon?
I'm quite sure there will be. Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope to be able to detail it. Again, I appreciate you spending some time and helping us understand a little bit about what you guys are up to over there. It's pretty exciting stuff. So thank you again for your time.
Yeah, I wanted to just say, like, today I had a quite busy week, and today just to get to know you guys, because I was trying to get a hang of the whole situation. I went through your channel and I saw the build of the garage, and dude, I have to say, like, huge respect for that. You guys have done a really massive job, and thank you for having the C1 in your detail shop. A couple of things that I just wanted to suggest. You are doing the exit of the car wrong. So put both feet first out and then just pull yourself out. It's the easiest way to get out. As I saw that you were exiting head first out, and that's not really the most elegant way to do it.
So sit up on your butt and kind of turn over like this,
yeah,
and then get out, as opposed to doing this
really,
kind of thing.
Yeah, it really kind of helps.
How tall are you?
I'm 184, so that's what I don't know in your measurements, guys.
184. All right. Well, I'm 6'2". Yeah. I don't know what that means. 6 feet 2 inches.
Oh yeah. You're taller.
Okay, so yeah, when I get in there, my knees are like this. It's just in any car, because I'm a bit of a taller guy.
It is quite snug. And that car is a really special, and really special for me. It was basically the first car that we developed. In between, for example, between the C1 and the C2, we've developed quite a lot of cars, but they were under the NDA. So some of them were race cars, most of them were race cars that we did for other companies. So we did quite a lot of projects, but C1 was the project that was cracking basically the ice, and we were doing so many things for the first time. and it has it has a huge character and it has its gimmicks. Of course, there are things that we could have done better on that car, but you have to also understand that it was a small series for production, so it was a limited time, limited budget for development, and the results is the results are really huge, massive. Like, have you had the chance to be driven in that car?
I haven't. The day that it showed up, we just
Yeah.
started getting snow in Connecticut and New York. So I think it was a wise idea to take 1,000+ horsepower, whatever it is, down the road with ice.
We have to take you for a ride, at least in
I
the,
would
in
love
the
that.
C2. Yeah, if the C1s are quite rare, but if the C2 will be available, you have to see that.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Again, I appreciate you spending so much time. This is huge, and I think you've added a lot to the video. So thank you again. Appreciate you being on.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. Be well. All right. So
Yeah.
hang on a sec. Let me stop the recording.
Yeah, the
the
off-road
boot
car. Yeah, the
boot.
boot.
Yeah.
I saw that video, and like I saw a couple of videos before, and I'm always like I'm have huge respect for cars that for people that do detailing of the cars, because I know that's a physical work, really a
Yes.
lot of physical work, and doing filming with that thing and thinking about all the things is huge thing.
How it goes in order, and then to edit it, then to put it all together.
Editing is a pain in the ass. If you don't do everything properly, you cannot edit anything. Like, so
right. So it's a big thing. So I'm running low on some. Maybe I need instead of gasoline, I need an electric battery in here or something, because I'm running out of energy. But hopefully we'll get some people in here and get somebody editing for me.
Yeah, sorry to take more time with you, but this really interests me. I ran somewhere on the internet on a article that you did like Wall Street before or something like that.
Yeah, I did. I worked on. Yeah, very much. I worked on the NYMEX, which is the New York Mercantile Exchange when it existed, and I worked for a trader that focused on natural gas commodities.
Oh.
So I worked on the floor of that, and it was lots and lots of money and people and running and drugs and just being angry, and it just was it was not for me. And so then I left, and I went and left a very high paying job, and went to go detail cars, which was, everyone was like, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing that? But I like cleaning cars. I don't know, it's very therapeutic. When you add the videos into the cleaning of the cars, that's when it becomes a little bit more hectic. I love when the video comes out, but it's a lot of pressure, because I have to, one, get the car done, two, be able to think about what it is I'm going to say, and then turn and say, hey guys, on today's episode, and explain whatever it is I'm explaining. So it can become challenge. It's 10 times harder to detail a car on camera than it is if I just put my headphones in, listen to music, and detail. I've been doing that for 20 years. It's easy. So it's fun / terrifying at the same time.
I hear you. I mean, like, I had multiple opportunities to do multiple kind of jobs, but I just at the end of the day, like, I can do this like day in, day out. You bring food and you don't turn off the lights, I will be there and just, do the work, because I just like doing it. But on the other hand, like, I did marketing before. I ran out of marketing. I literally like ran out of the office as soon as I could, because doing videos and stuff like that was just like too stressful, because every day you are on the deadline. Like, you never catch your breath. Like, that's why, like, when I saw the video and I saw the guys doing the burnt table that you have over there and stuff like that, I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And that's
it took 207 days to build the building. It's 207 days of filming, and then probably 30 days of editing.
And that's near, and that's in New York?
It's in Connecticut, but I live in Connecticut now. We moved, COVID and the whole thing. Nobody wants to be anywhere near New York.
How do you know the guys from Manhattan Motors?
I've been in this world for over 20 years. So all the guys that work there, I've known for years. They watch my videos. They called me and said, hey, we have the Rimac. Can you do some videos and clean it up and whatever? So one hand washes the other, because the videos I do for them are basically free, and I get them millions of views. So it's a win-win. You know what I mean? keeps my channel going, but you know, it keeps them happy and they get exposure. And I say Manhattan Motor Cars, Rimac loves it. You know, it's everybody's happy.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Like, listen, man, if you need any kind of like help or any kind of, I don't know, like these kinds of things or whatever, feel free. You have my email, you have my contact. I'd be more than glad to do this, just for, you know, kudos, because I see how much effort you are putting in this, and of course your friends and everybody else. And I hope when we have the car ready, when we have a car delivered in New York, I'll be able to come there, and maybe, you know, we can do some kind of driving or something like that. That could be maybe a good
That would be amazing. If you come to New York with the Concept 2, you have to let me know, because then we'll set up a thing. You'll come to the studio. I'm only 40 minutes away from New York City. Come to the studio. We'll shoot a whole film thing, and then we'll go driving. We can make a whole day of it. It'll be really fun. So I appreciate it very much. And if you're in the manufacturing facility, I don't even know what that looks like or is or whatever, and we want to do like if you get permission or whatever, and you want to do one on your phone, I can put it on one of my channels and say like, hey, an inside sneak peek of what's going on behind the scenes. Tell me what's going on. Well, this department over here does the interior. I'm making that up. I have no idea, but
sure.
If you get permission,
we need to see. I mean, for that kind of things, it's a little bit more complicated now, because we have the marketing department and we have to have clearance for everything. But yeah, I mean, like, imagine this. I was doing 10 or 15 years of automotive journalism before I started to do this job, and now I go into another technical center, which is a development center in the south of Italy for Porsche, Lamborghini, Ferrari, AMG, all these kinds of stuff. And I see cars that are not going to be on the market for 5 years.
Wow.
Like, I see all those things, and I have stickers on my phone, so I cannot, you know, do pictures or whatever. And it's just, you know, it's you know, you see things, but you cannot show it to anybody else.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah, it's, you know, it starts itching. So yeah. Yeah, thank you for this. Sorry, I've been a little bit all over the place.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
If you need anything, feel free to send me an email or whatever. And yeah, cheers, and
awesome.
Big respect one more time. So
thank you.
Keep on,
it means a lot
keep on the good work. Yeah.
All right. Be well. I'll talk to you soon, bud.
Yeah. Talk to you soon.
All right.
Ciao. Bye.
Ciao.